Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Y&R Trends. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Holden Novak and Claire Newman's whirlwind trip to Los Angeles may have sparked more than just passion. It may have created a ticking time bomb that could soon explode across Genoa City. The whispers are growing louder. Could Claire be pregnant with Holden's baby? What began as a sizzling, impulsive night of passion could quickly become one of the young and the restless most shocking and emotional storylines in recent memory. For Holden and Claire, their connection was already laced with danger, secrecy, and temptation. But now there's the very real possibility that their steamy LA encounter will lead to unexpected baby drama that shakes up every family in town. Their night together on October 31st wasn't supposed to mean anything more than an escape. Two people drawn together by circumstances, attraction, and the chaos surrounding them. But in the world of Genoa City, passion always comes with a price. Claire, having just tried to rebuild her life after years of emotional confusion and betrayal, may now be facing a future she didn't anticipate. And Holden, with his dark charm and murky past, may find himself tied to the Newmans forever if a baby enters the picture. One impulsive decision, one night in a hotel room, could alter both of their destinies. It's worth remembering that in soap operas, all it takes is one encounter. The writers often build entire arcs around one-night-only situations that spiral into long-term consequences. Viewers have seen it before. Pregnancies that begin as a mystery, love triangles complicated by paternity tests, and families torn apart by one fateful night. So the odds that Claire could become pregnant are very real, and if she does, the fallout could be enormous. Even if Holden and Claire use protection, fans know that rarely stops a soapy pregnancy twist. It's the genre's favorite plot device for keeping viewers glued to their screens. After all, drama thrives on chaos, and what could cause more emotional turmoil than Claire finding out she's carrying Holden's child? The show has already planted subtle clues leading up to this possibility. Back in September, Claire's fiery reaction to Kyle Abbott's casual talk about marriage and children was a sign that she's been struggling with the concept of love, family, and control. Her irritation when Kyle joked about not yet, in terms of starting a family, hinted that she's not as confident about her future as she appears. Now irony has come full circle. If Claire discovers she's pregnant by Holden, Kyle's warnings about her impulsive behavior will haunt her. Kyle has been desperately trying to win her back, to show her that he can give her stability and affection without the chaos that follows someone like Holden. But Claire's decision to run to Holden, to lose herself in that moment of passion, might be the very thing that shatters Kyle's heart for good. It's not just Kyle who will be affected. Victoria Newman, Claire's mother and one of the most powerful figures in Genoa City, has been quietly worrying about her daughter's erratic choices. Victoria knows all too well how dangerous impulsive relationships can become. She's lived through her share of betrayals, pregnancies, and heartbreak. Watching her daughter fall into the same trap will devastate her. If Claire turns out to be pregnant, Victoria will face a gut-wrenching dilemma. Support her daughter's decision or step in to protect her from a man like Holden, whose motives may not be as pure as they seem. Holden, meanwhile, may be hiding far more than he's letting on. His chemistry with Claire is undeniable, but his connection with Audra Charles raises red flags. The fact that Audra's name keeps popping up whenever Holden's secrets are mentioned can't be coincidence. Audra has her own history of manipulation, deceit, and using relationships for leverage. If she and Holden have some hidden agenda, Claire might be walking into a trap without realizing it. And if she's pregnant, she'll be trapped in that web permanently. Imagine the devastation when Claire finds out the truth. If Holden's affection for her was part of a larger scheme, or if he's been working behind the scenes with Audra to manipulate the Newmans. The emotional blow would be enormous, especially if she's carrying his child. Viewers know that Y&R thrives on irony, and it would be poetic and painful to see Claire regret giving in to her desires only after discovering Holden's duplicity. But for all her impulsiveness, Claire has a core of strength. She's proven resilient time and time again, and this storyline could become a pivotal turning point for her character. A pregnancy could force her to confront her own values, what kind of life she wants to build, what kind of person she wants to be, and whether she's willing to fight for her independence, even when tied to a man who betrayed her. Holden, too, would be tested. Would he embrace fatherhood, or would he retreat, unwilling to face the responsibility that comes with his actions? His reaction will say everything about who he truly is. Some fans speculate that Holden might surprise everyone by stepping up, showing genuine care and loyalty toward Claire and their potential child. Others predict the opposite, that he'll use the situation to gain power, manipulating Claire's emotions for his own benefit. Either way, it's a recipe for high-stakes drama. Kyle's reaction, of course, would be explosive. The man has been through heartbreak after heartbreak, and losing Claire to Holden, and then possibly learning she's pregnant with his rival's child, would push him over the edge. Kyle might spiral, reverting to the darker, more volatile side of his personality that fans have seen glimpses of before. He could even team up with Audra or worse seek revenge against Holden in ways that would have serious consequences. The Los Angeles setting adds an extra layer of symbolism. Away from the familiar comfort of Genoa City, Claire allowed herself to be vulnerable, swept away by the excitement and danger of something new. That one night of freedom may now follow her home in the most unexpected way. The City of Angels might have granted her a fleeting taste of passion, but it could also be where her fate was sealed. If Claire begins showing signs of pregnancy, the emotional fallout will ripple through multiple families. Victoria will confront Holden head-on, demanding answers. Kyle will accuse Holden of taking advantage of Claire. Audra will likely insert herself into the situation, hinting at her connection to Holden in ways designed to hurt Claire even more. And Victor Newman, the patriarch himself, may decide to intervene, protecting his granddaughter by any means necessary. A baby connected to Holden Novak could easily become a pawn in yet another Newman power play. There's also the question of how Claire herself would handle the news. She's already been on a journey of rediscovery, reconnecting with her biological family, trying to find her place in a world that's constantly judging her for her past. A pregnancy would amplify those struggles tenfold. Would she see it as a curse, or as a chance to start over? Would she keep the baby, or consider walking away from Holden to raise the child on her own terms? The possibilities are endless, and each choice comes with immense emotional weight. Holden's attitude toward the situation could also reshape his reputation. Right now he's an enigma, charismatic, mysterious, and dangerously appealing. But if Claire becomes pregnant, his actions will define him. Will he reveal his true colors as a manipulator? Or will he genuinely fall in love with Claire and the idea of a family? The show's writers love to blur moral lines, so it's possible Holden will occupy that gray area. Loving Claire but making terrible decisions that hurt her nonetheless. The timing of all this is also significant. Just as other major storylines involving Kyle, Victoria, and Audra heat up, a pregnancy twist could intertwine every major character's arc into one explosive narrative. Genoa City thrives on secrets, and a baby conceived in Los Angeles could become the most powerful secret of all. If Holden tries to hide the pregnancy, or manipulate Claire into keeping it quiet, things could get very ugly very fast. Fans are already theorizing about how the reveal could happen. Will Claire confide in Sienna first, the same friend who warned her about Holden? Or will Kyle find out accidentally, sparking another one of those heart-stopping confrontations Y&R is known for? There's even speculation that Claire might initially mistake Kyle as the father, creating a classic soap paternity twist before the truth comes out. The emotional core of this storyline lies in the contrast between fantasy and reality. In Los Angeles, Claire lived in a fantasy, a glittering, passionate escape from her problems. But when she returns to Genoa City, reality hits hard. Pregnancy tests, family judgments, public whispers. It's a world far removed from that luxurious hotel suite. And it's in that harsh reality where we'll see who Claire truly is, and what kind of future she'll fight for. Victoria's reaction will also be fascinating to watch. She's a Newman through and through, used to power and control, but when it comes to her daughter, she's vulnerable. This situation could soften her or harden her, depending on how she handles it. She might lash out at Holden, vowing to destroy him for taking advantage of Claire. Or she might try to guide Claire gently, helping her navigate the same kind of emotional storms Victoria has weathered in her own life. Ultimately, this potential pregnancy storyline could redefine multiple characters' arcs. Claire would transition from being a victim of circumstance to a woman forced to make adult choices with lasting consequences. Holden would have to confront the mess he's made, and Kyle would either lose himself in bitterness or rise above it, proving he's matured. The Newman family, meanwhile, would be shaken once again, proving that no matter how powerful they are, their personal lives are never safe from scandal. As viewers, we can't help but be intrigued. The clues are there, the emotional build-up, the symbolic hints, the passionate Halloween night in LA. Soap operas thrive on dramatic irony, and this setup has all the makings of an unforgettable twist. Whether the baby is ultimately revealed to exist or not, the fear of pregnancy alone could drive the next wave of drama, forcing every character involved to make choices that test their hearts and loyalties. For now, the question lingers. Did that night in Los Angeles change everything? Did Holden Novak and Claire Newman create a life together without even realizing it? If so, Genoa City is about to experience a storm unlike any it's seen before. A storm born of passion, secrets, and one reckless decision that will echo for months to come. One thing is certain. If Claire is indeed pregnant, the fallout will redefine her relationship with Holden, destroy Kyle's fragile hope, and send shockwaves through the entire Newman family. In true Young and the Restless fashion, the city that never sleeps on drama is about to wake up to a brand new scandal. And it all started with a night of passion in Los Angeles. If the rumors are true and Claire Newman finds herself pregnant after her passionate night with Holden Novak in Los Angeles, then the entire foundation of her new life could crumble, or evolve into something entirely unexpected. The very idea of Claire carrying Holden's child creates a domino effect that would send shockwaves across Genoa City. It's not just about love or betrayal anymore. It's about legacy, morality, and what kind of woman Claire wants to be moving forward. In many ways, this storyline could be the defining chapter of Claire's redemption arc. She has spent months trying to prove that she's no longer the fragile, easily manipulated girl who fell under Jordan's influence. Victoria and the Newman family opened their arms to her, offering her the stability she's always longed for. But Holden came along at exactly the wrong, or perhaps the most fateful time. He reignited Claire's hunger for danger, passion, and the kind of excitement that her carefully rebuilt life couldn't provide. That night in Los Angeles was about freedom. Yet, freedom often has a cost, and Claire may soon discover she traded fleeting pleasure for lifelong responsibility. The possibility of pregnancy would also force Holden to face the depth of his connection to Claire. Their relationship wasn't built on trust, it was built on chemistry, secrecy, and a mutual desire to escape their pain. Holden presented himself as a man who understood her, who didn't judge her past or expect perfection. But can that kind of connection survive the realities of a pregnancy? Parenthood isn't glamorous, and Holden doesn't strike anyone as a man who thrives under pressure. The very thought of him becoming a father might terrify him as much as it terrifies Claire. However, there's another side to Holden. A hidden vulnerability that fans have begun to sense. Beneath the confidence and charm lies a man with demons of his own, possibly tied to Audra Charles and whatever schemes the two have been running behind the scenes. If Holden discovers that Claire is carrying his child, it could become the emotional anchor that finally pulls him out of his manipulative lifestyle. It's possible that the baby could become the reason Holden changes for the better, transforming him from a wandering opportunist into someone capable of true love and sacrifice. But this is the young and the restless, and nothing is ever that simple. If Holden does want to do the right thing, he'll be up against enormous resistance, especially from the Newmans. Victoria, Nick, and even Victor will close ranks the moment they hear that Claire is pregnant with Holden's baby. To them, Holden is an outsider, a threat. Victoria may believe that he's using her daughter to gain leverage, or to insert himself into the Newman dynasty. That fear alone could trigger a Newman war against him, complete with manipulation, blackmail, and legal threats. And then there's Kyle Abbott, who will likely become one of the most volatile players in this drama. Kyle's jealousy has already pushed Claire away, and his inability to let go of their failed relationship could spiral into obsession once he finds out about the pregnancy. His entire sense of self has been shaken by rejection, first from Summer, then from Audra, and now from Claire. If Holden ends up fathering a child with Claire, Kyle might not be able to handle the humiliation. Fans can imagine him confronting Holden in the most explosive way possible, fists flying and accusations screaming through the air. The irony here is that Kyle's fears weren't unfounded. He sensed from the beginning that Holden was bad news, that his charm masked something dark. Kyle's instincts about Holden's secret ties to Audra or his hidden motives could all come true, But it might be too late for Claire to escape the consequences. She could be left feeling trapped between two men, one who loves her but suffocates her, and another who excites her but destroys her stability. Emotionally, Claire's potential pregnancy will test her in every way imaginable. Viewers have seen her navigate manipulation and trauma before, but this is different. Pregnancy brings out raw vulnerability. The idea of bringing a child into the world, especially when her own childhood was so fractured, will force Claire to confront every scar she carries. She may start questioning her own ability to love, to nurture, to protect. The fear of repeating the same mistakes that defined her past could consume her. And yet, the irony is, this could also be her greatest chance at redemption. There's something poetic about the possibility of Claire, once seen as a lost soul, becoming a mother. If she embraces the pregnancy, it could be her opportunity to heal, to give someone else the unconditional love she never received. It would also bring out a softer, more compassionate side of Victoria, who would see echoes of her younger self in her daughter. Victoria knows what it's like to fall for the wrong man and end up pregnant in complicated circumstances. Her relationship with Victor, and later with her children's fathers, has always been a dance between love and control. Now she'd have to guide Claire through that same storm without losing her own composure. Victor Newman, on the other hand, would not take kindly to any of this. His protective instincts over his family are legendary, and if he suspects Holden has jeopardized Claire's future, he'll strike back with his trademark ruthlessness. Fans can already imagine the scene. Victor summoning Holden to his office, his voice cold and precise, warning him that if he ever hurts Claire, or his potential great-grandchild, he'll regret it. Holden, of course, isn't the type to back down easily. Their inevitable clash could spark a power struggle that extends beyond personal boundaries and into the world of business, where Victor excels at crushing his enemies. Meanwhile, Audra Charles would find a way to insert herself into the chaos, because where there's scandal, there's opportunity. If she and Holden share a secret, financial, romantic, or otherwise, she could use Claire's pregnancy as leverage. Audra's talent for manipulation could lead her to twist the narrative, perhaps suggesting that she, too, was romantically involved with Holden during that same period. That would open the door for a classic Y&R paternity mystery, where no one knows who the real father is until a dramatic DNA test reveal. The emotional implications of such a twist would devastate Claire. Imagine believing you've found love, only to discover that your partner might also be entangled with your enemy. The betrayal would send her into a downward spiral, one that could undo all the progress she's made since reuniting with her family. The show could explore her isolation, her guilt, and her struggle to find strength in the face of public scrutiny. The baby, if confirmed, would also reframe Holden's entire relationship with the Newmans. Whether he likes it or not, he'd be tied to them forever. That connection could be dangerous for everyone involved. The Newmans don't forgive easily, and Holden's presence would continually stir up tension, not just with Victoria and Kyle, but potentially with Nick and Adam, who would see him as a threat to family unity. It's not out of the question that Holden could use the pregnancy to his advantage. If his motives are as dark as some fans suspect, he might see the baby as a way to gain influence. He could pretend to be the doting partner, promising to stand by Claire while secretly plotting to use the situation to elevate himself socially and financially. After all, becoming the father of a Newman heir, even an illegitimate one, comes with power. Holden could manipulate public sympathy, painting himself as a devoted father unfairly persecuted by the Newmans. It's the kind of scandal that tabloids would devour, and Holden seems like the type of man who thrives on attention. Yet, there's also the chance that the pregnancy could awaken something genuine in him. Soaps often play with redemption arcs, and Holden might surprise everyone by embracing fatherhood with sincerity. That would complicate things even further because the audience, and Claire herself, would be torn between trusting him and fearing him. Kyle, of course, would be incapable of walking away. He might try to convince Claire that Holden is using her, pushing for a paternity test before the baby is even born. His possessive streak could lead to disastrous consequences. In his desperation, Kyle might even expose Holden's connection to Audra, not realizing that doing so could hurt Claire more than it helps her. Every move Kyle makes to save her might drive her deeper into turmoil. As weeks pass, Claire's emotions would become a roller coaster. She might hide the pregnancy at first, uncertain of what to do. Sienna, her trusted confidant, could be the first to suspect something's off, perhaps noticing Claire's nausea or fatigue. When Sienna finally confronts her, the moment would be raw and emotional. Claire might break down, confessing that she doesn't know whether to keep the baby or even tell Holden. Sienna, ever the voice of reason, might urge her to face the truth head-on, reminding her that secrets always come out in Genoa City. Kyle squinted his eyes. Kane. That's right, Jack remarked somberly. And Phyllis. She will regret getting involved with this. Kane was performing his own damage control across town. When Lily first saw him at society, her face was taut with annoyance. Kane, this is unbelievable. You claim to have locked down that system. I did, he was adamant. However, someone violated it. Victor Newman is now turning it into a weapon. Lily, I promise to make this right. Even if it's Phyllis, I'll track down whoever assisted him. Lily crossed her arms. Kane exercised caution. You're experimenting with flames. He gave a sinister grin. Well, perhaps it's time to burn them all. Phyllis unexpectedly received an encrypted message back at the Grand Phoenix. We are aware of what you sold. Her heartbeat quickened. You can't hide forever. It was not Victor or Kane who sent that message.